Like lean into who exactly you are and trust like that if you feel this way and it's not, don't think about shame or who's going to judge it. It's like be authentically you. Don't project. I know you're a projector. Don't project what you think other people want. Just live, follow the signs, and you are here. Your soul is on this planet for one reason, and that's why you are here. And once you figure that out, again, you're going to be so lit up. If you haven't yet, live exactly and authentically as you are, and look at some dark things, look at what you love to do and put that energy out, and then you will match with that like energy. And it's like manifesting. Like you want to do all these things, but it's like, are you living in a way that you would attract these opportunities? Like you have to match that energy. And if you're projecting something else to appease a spouse or a friend or anyone, you're not aligning with opportunities that are supposed to be for you because you're not living as your authentic self.
Hello, you beautiful badass listener. Today we have a fun and insightful episode for you. I was on Erin's podcast a few months back, and I thought it would be great to have her on my show as well. I know that you will enjoy this conversation, and let me tell you a little bit about Erin. Erin Washington is a best-selling author. Her current book is called From Pain to Purpose: Finding Meaning in the Mess. She's also the host of ThERINpy with Erin Washington, which is a top 1% podcast. In this podcast, Erin does live therapy with mental health professionals so that listeners can feel seen and less alone. After struggling with body image and self-worth for almost 2 decades, Erin created Blue Butterfly Foundation. This provides mentorship and advocacy to teen girls who are struggling with body image, comparison, and self-worth. I hope you enjoy my episode today with Erin. She is amazing, she's fun, and we hit a lot of topics. So hang in there and let's start the episode. You're listening to Midlife Strategies for Badass Women, the no BS podcast for women over 40 who are sick of playing by someone else's rules. I'm your host, Sue Willoughby, badass midlife strategist, truth teller, and professional fire starter for midlife reinvention. Around here, we don't do fluff. We do real talk, bold strategies, and badass breakthroughs. Because midlife isn't a crisis, it's your damn power move. If you're all in, unapologetic, and ready to reinvent, let's get started. Well, welcome back, listeners. This is another episode of Midlife Strategies for Badass Women, and I have a very badass woman on today. She is also a podcaster. She has her own show called ThERINpy. Her name is Erin Washington, and I was on her show a couple months ago, right? Erin, was it? Yeah, and we had a lovely conversation, and I gave her a lot of therapy, and then she's all healed now. So we're all good.
It's a miracle.
All right. Well, I can't wait to talk to you today. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And Erin Washington, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Let's chat, shall we? Shall we chat?
Let's chat. What should we chat about?
Let's chat about you, since you're on my show. Last time it was my turn, so now it's your turn to sit in the hot seat, or I should say the spotlight, and tell me a little bit about yourself. I know that you've gone through some transitions, transformations, some life changes, and wherever you feel like jumping into the deep end, please feel free.
I always say my story starts with soccer, which I started playing at 4. So we're going way back. I became obsessed with it. I'm a firstborn perfectionist, oldest of 4 girls. And I don't know, somebody must have said one day, Erin's good at soccer. And I was like, ooh, my value, my identity. So I trained like a psychopath leading up to high school. And I started varsity as a freshman all 4 years. I was the captain. My junior and senior year, we were back-to-back state champions. Soccer was my world. I ended up playing Division I college soccer and trained all summer. I'd also like to say, so did my younger 3 sisters, but nobody was like me about it. So perfectionistic and driven and crazy. And when my career ended in college, I didn't see any other value for myself. And now I have a
Mm.
nonprofit for teen girls, and I always like, what do you do? And if they lead with like a sport, I'm like, but what else? Because that's not the only thing. Like, I'm all over it now, and especially with my daughter. But when you put everything into one thing and that's your value and your identity, when it's gone, for me, I fell into depression,
Mm.
bulimia, and it was something that I hid from the girls on my team. I was still living in the soccer house and had put on weight because I wasn't in a Division I strength and conditioning program anymore. It was very secretive and isolating, and I kind of came out of the mess and stopped doing the behaviors, but I was still very depressed. I was still restricting, very wrapped up in body image when I met he's still my husband. He's my ex. We're not divorced. I filed 2 years ago. I'm sure we'll get into that. Um, but I didn't have any confidence, and I started dating my husband when he was in the prime of his career in the NFL. He was a Pro Bowl linebacker. We had 2 kids, and after I had my second child, it was like I finally got things together with my body, and it was the opposite of what I'd done my whole life, and I was obsessive and restrictive. I wrote a book called Squats and Margaritas about finding balance, and I thought my purpose was to teach women how to find their best bodies and be like, girls, get off the treadmill and lift. And it's not about restriction. Have the margarita. Don't have 3. But when you put something on the pedestal and it's like tempting and enticing, that's all you want. And I changed my body, and I have like abs on the cover, and I'm holding a dumbbell and a margarita. And I'm like, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to do. But in that book, I shared about my bulimia, and women would DM me and say, me too. You're the only
Mm.
person I've told. My vulnerability gave them permission to be vulnerable. So I started leaning more into that. And during the pandemic, I was being vulnerable on Instagram, and a radio station program director was watching me every week. She called and gave me a show. Squats and Margaritas was this podcast. And then you mentioned a transition. I transitioned away from margaritas after drinking way too much during the pandemic, and found myself trying to unpack that every week with guests that were just as vulnerable. And it became me doing therapy every week. And I was like, why is this even called Squats and Margaritas? So I leaned into ThERInpy, where I have coaches, relationship coaches, and mental health professionals come on every week and have me work through and unpack whatever I'm going through. And the premise is that people that listen will get the answers without having to be vulnerable themselves. So right now, if you want to learn about perimenopause, I have a lot of episodes on that. Dating after divorce, co-parenting, sobriety, anything I'm trying to work through, you can find an episode of my show. I'm going to ask the questions that you probably have so you can get the answers without having to be vulnerable yourself. And yeah, I've never been more lit up by anything. I feel like this is what I'm supposed to do. So now ThERInpy is, I just found out, a top 1% podcast globally. And after hustling squats and margaritas everywhere, it seems this is what I was supposed to do.
I love that. I love that. Okay, that's a lot to unpack, first of all. That was like I'm
Well,
trying to keep up,
that's
and
how
I'm
we
like,
got.
wait.
No,
Oh, wait. Hold on a
unpack
second.
it.
Yeah.
We got an hour.
Squats and margaritas. All right. First of all, that sounds like quite the health plan. And then you
Sue, I
dropped the
gotta say,
margaritas.
I stand by it. Squats and margaritas changed my life because it changed my body. And once I got all that body image looming over me
Mm.
gone, I had more time to like look at other things. And when I stopped restricting, it's like it wasn't as enticing anymore. If you're like, I'm not drinking, or I'm doing a dry January, that's all you think about. And I swear, when you just allow it, it's like I can have a margarita, but I didn't really want one. Like, I stand by squats and margaritas. It was a necessary part in the journey. And I needed to go through that to get the body image stuff gone, to be able to look at the next things, like my marriage and my sobriety. I didn't have time for that prior.
Yeah, and I don't think we talked about the whole sobriety thing when I was on your show, but we can definitely unpack that as well. I think we all drank too much during the pandemic because there was nothing else to do.
And I
Um,
had a 2 and a 4-year-old I would also
oh
like
my
to.
God.
And I didn't know. I was like, this isn't fair. The schools are closed and the playgrounds are closed. And what am I supposed to do? And so I was a drunk mom on TikTok, and it's so cringy. I'm like, we quarantini, like we drink. And that's how I grew my
Oh my
TikTok
God.
following. So I guess that had a place as well, but I can't even look at it. Fox 5 in DC used to have me on
Oh
either
my
to make
God.
margaritas or I was on New Year's Day about talking about how not to be hungover. And so if you think about
Oh my
now, a
God.
producer was
Yeah.
like, who would know how to drink a ton and not be hungover? And she thought of me. And I hung my hat
Hmm.
on it. And now I'm like, oh,
Right? You're like, "Oh, yeah, right?" It's like when that stuff comes back to bite you in the ass, you're like, "Whoa, what happened
it
there?"
doesn't.
I do like the term quarantini, though. I think that's
Uh-huh.
brilliant.
I may have trademarked it. I
Did
leaned in
right?
hard. So now
Yeah.
that's why I say I stand by squats and margaritas and the balance. I just lost the balance. It went all margaritas during the pandemic. So balance works. What I
Up
was
the
doing, I
squats,
don't
forget it.
recommend. Right. The gyms were closed, Sue. What was I
The
supposed
only
to do? I
the
had
only
to drink
squatting you were doing is to reach the, gin or whatever at the bottom of the yeah.
vodka, tequila,
Vodka,
margarita.
whatever, j all of it, all of it. But it's true. I love what you said about, when you can't this is why dieting, when you think of, like, the South, beach diet, the blah blah diet, the whatever the diet is, it is restricting you from doing that, from eating a certain thing or whatever, and then, yes, you become laser focused on, "I want that chocolate bar," or, "I want that martini," or, "I want that whatever." It's true, and rather than trying to find a happy place where you can have everything in moderation, as Julia Child
Yes.
would say, right? Everything in
Yes.
moderation. And have the butter, have the cream, it's okay.
I live
But
like
when you
that now. It is okay. I have butter
yeah,
and cream, and I would never do that before.
it's healthy. It's
It's
healthy, but
it
it's hard to get that. So how did you find that? And I'm not even gonna say the word balance because I think balance is just like overused, but
I
how
know.
did you find that recipe for being able to have a little bit of everything and not, limit yourself or
I
to the
yeah.
point of it being unhealthy? Because you've also had eating disorders and all of
Yes.
that stuff, and it's a lot to
It's
overcome.
scary.
I wanna go back
Mhm.
just one quick second. When your soccer career ended, was that because of an injury? Or
Good
just
question.
yeah,
No,
because I
just
don't
because
think you covered that.
I just decided to quit, my sophomore
Oh.
year, and I think
Mhm,
me explaining what high school was for me and how much soccer meant to me, I
mhm.
wasn't playing, and I was like, "This is bullshit." Like, I came in and won the fitness competitions, and I was scoring goals in practice, but I wasn't and my ex, like, he was a professional athlete, and he's like, "You
Yeah,
were going into games as a freshman." Like, that's and I'm like, "But I felt like I deserved to play more." So, I made it through my freshman year. My sophomore year, I remember we were at Michigan State. It was halfway through the season because you travel and it's your whole life, and you travel all the way there, and you never see the
yeah,
field, and I was just done. And on a
I
whim, I was
see.
like, "No, I quit." And then I was like, "Oh, shit," like, that's when I realized that it was my identity, and then I fell into depression. So yeah, I didn't realize until I quit how much I identified with soccer. I was like, "Why am I still at this college? I'm only here for soccer. Like, nothing. That's my value. I should leave. Like, I bring nothing anymore." I wrap
Mm.
myself so much around soccer. And again, my three younger sisters, all Division 1 soccer players, all had great careers. Not obsessive. Like they were just like, "Oh, we have season coming up. I'll go for a run." I'm like, in 2 days, I'm my self-imposed 2-a-days, nobody was holding me to this, and that's just how I was around grades and eating.
Yeah,
I had to be thin, and I had to I'm if you have a child who is maybe a firstborn, and I remember when I was younger, it was like something to be applauded, like, "Erin's so driven," and I would wake up early and retake quizzes. If I got a B, I would go for the A, and my sisters were like, "What is wrong
why?
with you?" But I didn't know any other way. I'm like, "You guys, if we get up early, we can go get an A," and they were like,
Who
but my
cares?
mom would be like, "Yeah, she's so driven." I always say now when I speak to the teenage girls and their moms, if you have a child like that and it sounds like they're very driven, that can take a left into an eating
Mhm.
disorder where like nothing is good enough. I can't be thin enough. So watch the one that is super driven. And nobody was asking me about, I would come home with A's, and my sisters, if they came home with like B's and C's, it was like, come on, like they're working with them. What's going on? No one was asking me. And I was throwing up my food because I seemed like I had it all together. It's like the one you need to watch is the one that you feel like, oh no, she's all over it. She's so driven. It can take a left. And it did with me.
Yeah. Why do you think that you were so driven to be the ultimate, A plus plus achiever in everything, in sports, in academia, in everything? Where do you think that came from?
I don't know. Sue, I have made a podcast around someone come on every week and tell me why I'm like this. I think firstborn is a thing. Like if you're a
Me.
firstborn perfectionist, like you just like things a certain way. But there was nowhere in my childhood where I could pinpoint where I felt like I wasn't worthy. But I, from the time I was in high school and kind of just started dating, I would go after like the big guy on campus. In college, I did it. My husband, love my husband still, but I'm sure the initial appeal was like, ooh, this is a shiny person who, if they like me, then I'm shiny because I didn't see any
Well,
shine in me. And it was all validating. Like, look at this. He picked me. And I unpacking that now. I didn't know I was doing it when I was doing it, but it was like,
yeah.
if they choose me, then I'm worthy. And I don't know why I didn't have this inherent value. And I made it my life's mission. My daughter will be amped up every single day and know it. And it's not like my parents didn't. I don't have
Mm.
an other than I can just compare it to 4 girls lived in this house, brought up by the same parents, and I'm the only one. So it couldn't really be the parenting or the environment. I think I was
Yeah.
just like genetically predisposed to like perfectionism. And when I talk to people on my show and they start talking like me, I'm always like, "Are you firstborn?" And they're like, "Yes." I'm like, I know. I can feel it. Like, I know. And you
Yeah.
feel like you're like the role model. I guess you have to like set an example. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I have a
Yeah.
lot of
Just
reasons that I've
curious.
like checked off. Like, it's not that. Like my 2 parents in the home. They were present. None of my sisters are this way. Like, I don't know. I say
Hmm.
birth order.
Interesting. Okay. Just
You
curious. I'm
can
an only child, so I don't know anything about that.
well,
I was definitely not a definitely not a perfectionist. I was kind of like, whatever. Oh, you had
oh,
an
I would
F.
love some of that.
Yay. That means you went to school. All right. And then I quit high school twice. I think we talked about that on your show as
We
well.
did.
Yeah. Because I was such a perfectionist, I had to go back and do it again. Then I'm like, I'm out of here. Uh,
It's easier to live life the way that you did. Like, it's too much to
yeah.
carry. And I was like homecoming I wasn't like, I was homecoming queen and prom queen
Mm.
and
Yeah,
like
you're an
National Honor
overachiever.
Society, but I couldn't not be it. Like, if I
Yeah.
couldn't say that right now, Sue, it was like, "What'd you even do in high school? Were you like?"
Uh,
I that's my value, these titles and these relationships, and I didn't find value until damn near 40, like
uh-huh.
38, when I wrote my second book. And now I say it's exciting now. I'm going all over the place with this, but dating, if I start dating, I've never dated as this person, of this like embodied, confident woman. I've always been like trying to like project what I thought the man wanted so I could get him and then validate myself. But now it's like I will attract a match for who I actually am. Finally, I'll be 44 next month and finally living as who I am. So that's, I mean, it's exciting. I don't know how to date. We talked about that. I get weird,
Uh-huh.
but I am at least like finally, I'm not projecting anymore. It's like you have to like me now. And maybe now I'll have a match for who I actually am. And I think a lot of women go through that. Like, if you met your spouse in your 20s, you probably were projecting, or you just didn't know who the hell you were yet. And
Yes,
then you
I think
stepped
the
into it.
latter
Yes.
for
And then
sure.
you're like, your spouse is like, who is this? And rightfully so. They're like, this is not who I married. And it's like, yeah, this is who I am now. I should have looked it up by now. Like, how many women file for divorce in their early 40s when they're finally like, you know who you are. You may have been accepting of behaviors for decades that your
Mhm.
spouse hasn't changed, but you're kind of like, that didn't really work for me anymore.
Yeah.
And they file for divorce. And then there's kids involved, and that sucks. But you're also showing them what you would want them to do. Like, if they were ever feeling like somebody wasn't hyping them up or appreciating them, or not even just validating, but just like really seeing them, you wouldn't want them to just be like, it's fine. You would want them to like stand up for themselves and find a relationship that aligns with who they are. So I have to show my kids that and not just settle. So there's two sides to it. I don't know what's right. We'll see. I'll check back with me. Still on the journey, but that's what my mindset is now. Show them that they need to be authentically who they are, and if it's not aligned in
Yeah.
the relationship, you don't have to stay.
Yeah, that is so true. And let's talk about the identity thing for a little bit because,
Sure.
I think women of a certain age Your identity when you were younger was the soccer player, the overachiever, high graded, the A plus student, all of those things. Your identity was your achievements. Um,
Yes.
and then when you said, "Oh, I don't have that identity anymore. What do I do now?" So later in life, I mean, we all change, and then you get to a certain point, and now you have children. How old are they currently?
They're 7 and 9.
Okay, so they've got a ways to go before you go, into the empty nest syndrome.
Yes.
But, your identity changed then when you became a wife and a mother. And then, you're like, okay, maybe, and like you said, with squats and martinis, maybe this is what I'm supposed to do. So you keep
Yes.
changing your identity. And I appreciate that. And I can totally relate to that because I've done that myself. I've never really felt like I was one thing. And part of me is like, is that a problem? Should I be
Yes.
should I be
I get
more
that.
attached to an identity rather than like, "Oh, what about this? And what about that?" And
Or, like,
but
credibility. It's like, "Oh, you're this, now
yeah,
you're this," and it's like,
right.
"Okay, you have more jobs than anyone I've ever met." Like, your resume of, like, all these different things, but I think it's amazing, like, that you have all these experiences, but it's like, I don't know, you say, you're a DJ, and then you're well, you're like a roller derby ref, like, and it's like, wait, what it I would think about credibility. It's like, I was
Yeah,
totally leaning into, like, fitness, and now I'm, like, mental health, and I was worried it would be seen as like, "Oh god, like, what does she even do?" I
yeah,
needed to, like, because I leaned in hard on Squats and Margaritas, but I kinda just let it you gotta let it evolve and kinda
yeah,
Squats and Margaritas had to happen, and it was just that getting me to this doing a show called Squats and Margaritas and only doing therapy, like, and then Gabby Bernstein came on my show and was like, I said, "I can't change it because I'm looking at I barely drink, but on Squats and Margaritas," she's like, "Change it. You've evolved. Like, this
yeah,
is an evolution of your brand. It's not." But I'm like, "But like, you trademark everything and you push it everywhere." And I was like, "It's gonna kill my brand." And she goes, "This elevates your brand. And if
yeah.
Gabby Bernstein tells you to do something, you do it."
And did it elevate your brand?
Yeah. I mean, this is exactly what I'm supposed to do. And sometimes, like, I share way too much. I've probably already done it on here. And, like, somebody will say something to me and I don't I'm fine. That's my superpower. Because I finally accept myself, I will say the things that I know you're asking, and it's like, listen to my show because you can get all the answers.
Mhm.
I'm very comfortable with myself. So I'll ask the embarrassing questions or I'll admit to struggling with drinking or whatever perimenopause. I rage out and yell at all my kids. And like, I'm sure other women are like, yes, I feel like that. But you have to be like,
Yeah.
no, I love my kids. Everything's great. I would have
Today,
been the
at
same
this
way.
moment.
Yeah. But when you finally step into just alignment with exactly who you are, and it may not have happened for you yet. Like I say, if it hasn't and you're not profoundly lit up, look at
Mhm.
something that you are burying, something in your past. Maybe it's that dark thing. Maybe it doesn't have to be super dark, but like something that maybe happened to you that you've never unpacked and you don't want anybody to figure out. Like that is where the magic is. Get in there,
Mhm.
get it off of you. And then if you're willing to share the story, there's tons of people still
Yeah.
in that mess. Whether you like believe it or not, I'm telling you, I get DMs every week of especially with the eating disorder stuff, like, that was my big dark thing, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, me too." Nobody says it. Everybody is struggling, so
Yeah.
if you can get in there and get that off of you, it's like the rest of your life opens up. When I got the body image stuff, it was like, then I could look at my relationship and sobriety, and it did elevate everything around me, and it was something that I was never going to share, and a writing coach was like, "No one is gonna buy this book if you're not a trainer or a nutritionist. Like, is there a story?" And I was like, "No." Well, absolutely not. And then I wrote it and it was like, now I talk about it very casually because it lost the power. It's only heavy and dark because you're not getting in there. And
Yeah.
that's the secrecy of it is what's making it scary. Once you start talking about it, it doesn't have a hold on you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, and same thing here when I started talking about growing up, with an alcoholic parent
Yeah.
and, how I had to find my way stumbling around and banging into things and throwing spaghetti against the wall and all of that, and like you said, yes, I was a DJ and I did these things. Those were all, I look at them now, those were all life experiences, and they were things that lit me up at the time, and that was great, and I had that life experience. I took it, I used it to build something else, and then I went on to the next thing, and I don't feel
Yes.
guilty about it at all. I love
No.
what I have done, and I love where it's gotten me. Like, when I was I was, like, probably how old was I? I was young. I was like 14 or something, and I went and I took this broadcasting course, literally, like, at this broadcasting studio, and then I took a course in, recording, like, at a recording studio. I just was always fascinated with that, and look at me now. I got all those
Yeah.
things, can't doing a podcast, here we go. Um, it also got me
Yes.
jobs in corporate training, so all of those little breadcrumbs that we, pick up or that we leave behind all add up, and I think my theory is that we forget about that, as women especially, that all of those life experiences add up, and you can pull from them, and you can to get you out of that, and I do love that you said, do the shadow work, go to those dark places, and, you and I have both been there, and it's easier said than done, right? Because when someone is doing internal work, you have to get really quiet, and the quieter you get, the louder all of that stuff becomes, and then you're like, "Well, shit. Now it's in my face, and now I have to deal with it." But like you said, when you can talk about those things and put them out there, it make it re it just it lightens the load because they're not
Yes.
in here anymore, they're out there, and it's not like you're dumping them on someone else, but
No.
it's like, bleh, you're just
You're
like, "Okay,
liberating
get rid of
yourself.
that." Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. You're not it's not heavy anymore, and I don't have to
Yeah.
worry about anything coming out, like, about I share everything. Like, there's
Mhm.
no and then you're just having these conversations, maybe you and I just talking about this, like, invite someone to
Yes.
maybe get in there. So, like, that's what I felt the same way. I was going to my grave with my eating disorders. That was the
Uh,
darkest stuff. And it was like, "No, that writing coach," I said, "No, I just wanna help women. I lift heavy, eat more often." And she's like, "What? You have no credibility. You're not a trainer. You're not a nutritionist." And I was like, "Well, I'll write it." And I wrote it. I didn't even
mhm.
email it back to her. And instantly, Sue, I was like, "Whoo," like it was off. So and
Yeah,
nobody knew, and I didn't have to tell anyone, but it was like, can you imagine? Like, everything unfolded, me sharing that, everything took off. Like, I had no brand, I had no it was nothing before then and no aspirations to do anything, and it was like, this has become another book and a podcast and a new podcast and a nonprofit for teen girls, and it's just growing. I wrote a children's book. It's just evolving, and you have to go back and think, like, if I never shared it, where would I be now? Like, I wouldn't be lit
yeah,
up. I've never felt more lit up, and it all came from unpacking the dark stuff.
I love it. Yeah. Let's talk about a couple of things that you just mentioned. So your
Yeah.
second book after Squats and Margaritas, was Pain to Purpose.
Yeah.
Was it correct?
Mhm.
Tell me a little bit about that, and then I wanna hear about the kids' book as well, and then we'll segue into your foundation or your,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you.
go for it.
Well,
Yes.
Squats and Margaritas was how to find your best body. It was telling my story at the beginning, how I got there, because she made me, and how I live now. Like, when I was restricting, I was 20 pounds heavier, and it's the eating disorder came for that book because they were like, "This woman is still making about a physical ideal, and you should be healthy at any size," but I was not healthy at any size,
Mhm.
and I felt I was doing everything right. I barely ate. I did cardio twice a day, and I couldn't lose weight. And I think you were asking me what was, like, the turnaround point. A trainer at my gym was like, "You work out so much, your body is starving, and it's not ever
Mm.
gonna let go of calories
Yeah.
because it doesn't know when you're gonna eat." He's like, "You have to eat more." And I'm like, "Oh, I have to eat more to lose weight." But I had tried everything else, so I believed him. I started eating so much more often, every couple hours,
Yeah.
and I lost 20 pounds, and I
Yeah.
started focusing on lifting. So I was like, "I have to tell the woman who's still on the treadmill and eating salads, no, no, no." So
Yeah.
that was the first book. The second book was finding that I thought it was all about a physical ideal, and here I've made it. I have abs. Here's me on the cover. You can do it too. And that I thought I was writing as my highest self. Like, this was my purpose. But the purpose came from once that book, Squats and Margaritas, came out and people started reaching out to me. Then I started speaking and sharing the story. And I love talking to women about finding purpose in the dark things. And that book is basically just like how it evolved post-COVID. Like I'm like, so that came out and then COVID happened. I was all margaritas, no squats, and it turned into me shifting ThERINpy instead of squats and margaritas. And then the nonprofit came. Did we talk about my butterfly? It's called Blue Butterfly Foundation. And when I
Trying
would
to
think
remember.
about
You did.
everything I have, like I have blue butterflies all over my office. A blue butterfly would come to my doorstep, and it sounds ridiculous. So I was putting it on Instagram with timestamps, like here we are again. It's back, it's back. And people were like, that's so crazy. Wouldn't fly away. I swear it was like when I had something I was like pondering, I would look out and it would just be right on my doorstep. Or my kids would be like, Mommy, you're a
Mm.
butterfly. And I'd come out and be like, this is insane. Once no one will ever be able to make this make sense. I was getting a lot of pushback about going to speak during the school week because I'm a mom. And I was kind of in my head about that. And I went to Atlanta Airport where I live, busiest airport in the world. Sue, there's 25 TSA lines. I could have got stuck in traffic. I could have stopped to tie my shoe, gone to the restroom. The timing that I came in, then I had to make a decision, go left or right. I go right. I pick up the bin to put my shoes, and my whole body just got goosebumps. There was a blue butterfly sticker
Yeah.
on the bin.
Ouch.
I will send you a picture when I'm looking at it, and the guy's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "No, I'm not okay." I could have gone the other way. I could have the timing of it, and I was like, "God," and I swear it's like, "Keep going." Like,
Yeah.
because I was in my head, I get them all the time. Probably get one today. But anyway, I was like, it was happening all the time, and I was on a call with my business coach who was helping me try to get a TED Talk. And she's like, "That nonprofit that you've been wanting to do." I was like, "Yeah, I just want there to be a safe space where teenage girls can go and talk to women who have been through all the body image struggles and they're struggling with self-worth." And she's like, we talked about it. And then she goes, "What do we call it?" And in that moment, I was like, blue butterfly. So it left. Like that was it was the whole purpose of this butterfly was for me to do the next thing. So that's in Pain to Purpose, like how it evolved to look around you. You're just looking at your phone. There are
Yeah.
signs and there is guidance. So Blue Butterfly Foundation came out of that. And then when I talk to these girls, I focus at Blue Butterfly on middle school and high school girls. Like their bodies are changing. There's boys, and you're kind of like, I I I don't want them to do what I did and like try to validate through relationships is like you are exactly who you are. You will attract people that are like you. Like don't project, or one day when you start living like you are, that relationship's not going to work anyway. And everybody's just worried about their own things. You're going to school and you're like, there's a pimple on my face, but no one's looking at it because they're worried about the pimple on their face. And just like a safe space for girls to talk. And I would notice that like there's all these different like where we are. My kids are biracial, and it's a very white uh area.
Mhm.
And I was like, there's no book or there's no like explanation of like my daughter would be like, why is her skin dark? Or when is she going to get skin like mommy? And I'm like, Mommy is laying out at the pool trying to get skin like you. And it's so beautiful. And she's like not hearing me. But I wrote a book called I'm Just Like Me. And it's basically like, that's the point. Everyone's a little bit like their mom, a little bit like their dad. It all rhymes. I'm not gonna give you the whole thing, but it's like, that's the point. Everybody, I don't look like you, and I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to look like me. And so there's no reason to compare. And it's coming out. It's in illustrations right now.
Cool.
Say, do you ever ask God why he made you like you? It's okay to say yes, because I ask him too. I ask him why my eyes are brown when all my friends have blue, and why I'm taller than my classmates and wear a bigger shoe. And it was like God downloaded this whole rhyming thing. And it's just about don't compare. Like you're just supposed to look like you. You're not supposed to look
Yeah.
like her. My daughter's also super, super tall. So she doesn't look like any of her classmates. So it just, I feel like God put that in, like downloaded that into me. And I am just going to keep following the signs and looking for confirmations. But it's like if you are walking or running with headphones on and you have your playlist. And I remember a time in my life, I'm like, run without a playlist. Like you got to be crazy. Like just be alone with my thoughts. Take off the headphones. Look around you or put your phone down. Like how long was that butterfly out there where I was just like scrolling Instagram? Like it's right in front of you, and once you start to notice it, it will knock you over. Like that how that blue butterfly got in the bin that I chose out of all the TSA lines, like there's somebody up there that's guiding your path. And it's like, okay, she's
There
getting the
is.
signs.
Yeah.
And so it was like squats and margaritas. And then no, it's this. And it's like, I get confirmation, like, no, you shouldn't be speaking. You're a mom. Blue butterfly. And it's like, no, I'm supposed to keep, this is what my soul was put on this earth to do. And if you haven't found it yet, maybe it's in that dark thing. And I'm compelled to share, there was a spiritual business coach on my podcast that said, we all live in 3 realms. There's the excellent, the exceptional, and the eh. And the eh is like, I always say accounting, finance, not my jam, not anything that I ever want to do. The excellent is what you went to school for. You feel confident and proficient. You probably have a degree in it. So let's say you're an accountant. I'm very confident in accounting, but there's another level. It's the exceptional realm. And she's like, few people step into exceptional because they just feel confident in excellence. That's what they went to school for. And if you look at, I mean, maybe you did go to school to be an accountant, but maybe you're the person that everybody comes to when they have a problem, and you're like the best listener and problem solver. And you're just not looking. It's like, but I can't be a therapist, or I can't coach because I have a background in finance. And it's like, that's just what you're confident in. If you step into excellence and you can tell the people that have it. I don't know if you're a big sports person, but Ryan Clark is an ESPN analyst, and he is fantastic. He was a Steelers Super Bowl champion. He was an excellent football player. But what he does in broadcasting and just how great he is at that, he has stepped into exceptional. And it's like, yeah, he could have been like, yeah, my career's over. I'm done with football. But he stepped into exceptional. And it's like, when I speak, I feel in flow, and like people will come up and be like, when you said this, and I'm like, I don't remember saying that, because it's like it's like I channel almost.
Yeah,
It
I was
sounds
just gonna
crazy.
say, it sounds
It's
like
like I'm
channeling.
like,
No, yeah.
yes, but it's because I'm stepping into my exceptional, and it's scary to like put yourself out there when well, I know I can do this, and there's a paycheck, and I get that, but just, listening to this, are you just comfortable in excellence when there is another realm? And it's like, maybe the thing that lights you up. And if you're not lit up, don't stay in excellence. Like, there's another, you'll know it if you're lit up. Like, I
Mhm.
feel like I get struck by lightning when I speak. Like, it's this knowing. And if you haven't found it, you're probably just comfortable in excellence because that's what you went to school for, or you're not getting in to what you can help other people with. And I guess it doesn't even have to be helping. Like, what can you teach? Like, maybe you
Mhm.
know how to make sourdough bread. My friend just launched she would make it by herself. And now she has like an Instagram store, and she loves it, and it keeps evolving. Now she's got like all these different flavors, and she's so lit up. But she had something to teach, and she has a whole community of like teaching people how to do it. She sells the bread, and it was like, it just came out of her hobby, like something that she liked to do. But it's like, make an Instagram page. There are people that want to either learn from you, or, like, learn how you came out of a situation, learn how to make sourdough bread, whatever it is that you like, get in there, because that
Mhm.
may be why you specifically are here. And it doesn't matter what you have a degree in. It's like, if you're lit up or you're not.
Right. Hey, badass listener, have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? Yeah, it's not that difficult. Seriously, I've created a limited series mini podcast, which is only 21 episodes. It's entitled Podcasting for Real Estate Pros. Now, if you're not a real estate pro, that's okay. You can still listen, because it goes through all of the steps from creating a concept to building content pillars to recording to actually launching your own real podcast. Now, this can be a marketing tool if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a real estate professional, whether you're an agent, whether you're a inspector, whatever industry you're in, this can be useful. It also has a free downloadable workbook. So wherever you listen to your podcasts, like Midlife Strategies for Badass Women, whether on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are, check it out. It's called Podcasting for Real Estate Pros. Listen to a few episodes. They're super short. They're like anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes long. Tons of information, actionable steps. Hey, you never know. You could be the next Josephine Rogan. All right, get out there, listen to that podcast, get your workbook, and I'll see you behind the mic. I love the excellence versus exceptional thing, because excellence, people think they may not even know that they're in their excellence thing. And there's nothing wrong with excellence, but like you said, it kind of equates to your comfort zone. You feel confident because it's something that you trained on. It's something that you know how to do with your eyes closed, basically. It's not pushing you any further. And to get out of that excellence and pursue something that is going to challenge you is when it becomes a whole 'nother thing. But like you said, if it's something that lights you up, but a lot of times it's difficult for people to even allow themselves to experience or think about what it would feel like, right? They're
Yeah.
like, "I don't wanna feel that because it might take me in a different direction," right?
Yeah, what you're
I
supposed to
don't wanna
do.
I'm curious about this, but I don't wanna go there because I'm good here. I know everything.
Go in the other
I'm a
direction.
big fish in a small pond, and I don't wanna be a tiny little minnow
See
in a big ocean."
see
Right?
where the direction takes you.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I stepped into this and it kept getting bigger, that's when I realized my marriage wasn't aligned. Took me in a whole different direction that I didn't see coming. But I don't think about if you're a mother listening to this, I know there's a lot of I had a lot of shame and guilt. It's like it's not about you anymore. Like it's about the kids. And I
Yeah.
said I had somebody telling me had a book signing on a Thursday, and it was like, well, it's a school week, so why would you like? Because I wrote a book and I'm gonna go. It was like I had to justify that I still mattered, and I think a
Yeah.
lot of moms deal with that. It's like the kids, you're over. Do it when they're older. You matter too, and you
Yeah.
are showing, especially I always think about my daughter who I feel like watches me more closely than my son. I'm showing her what she can be, and I want her to be lit up. And I don't want her to just if she wants to stay in the house, and I don't no shade. If you want to stay at the house and you're completely lit up just being home with your kids, that is one thing. But if you're not, and
Yeah.
you just have this like, "Oh, I shouldn't. I'm the mom." You matter, and you are showing your kid that it's possible. So, Katie Couric with the reframe on this, I was talking to her about working mom guilt. I said, "You were anchor of the Today Show. You had 2 young girls. Right now, I'm sitting here talking to you, and my son is in this door, and he's like pressing his hands on. I want to be like, hold on. No, what do you need to show him he's the most important?" And she goes, "No, don't you dare go over there." She goes, "You show him that what mommy does is important and mommy's
Yeah.
work is important." She goes, "Bring him over, put him on the mic." And I was like, it was such a reframe because I was like, no, no, no. I have to tell them they're the most important. And then she said that her daughter she lost her first husband to colon cancer. And she's like, they're watching. She goes, just recently, my grown daughter was like, "Mom, I'm so proud of all the work you've done for colon cancer research." And she was like, she was watching. Like I was showing
Mhm.
her they're not, she goes, "You have more guilt than he does." He's just like, he's going to be in 2 seconds. He's trying to do something else. But I'm like, "Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, honey. You're most important. I'm going to stop this right now." And she was like, "No, don't go over there. You just stay right here." I was like, but it was such a, yeah.
Yeah.
Why do we feel like we don't matter anywhere? I get it. I felt the same way. But
Uh-huh.
you would never want your child to be like, like my daughter calls me when she's a mother. And it's like, yeah, I'm like, I have to go somewhere. But my kids has school be like, "Well, honey, you're a mother now, so you can't do anything." Like, I would never want her to feel that
Yeah.
way, so I have to show her I'm the model for what I want her to be. So if you can't do it for yourself, that's kinda how I got there through all the shame and guilt. I was like, "No, she's watching me, and I want her to find something that she loves and not feel like she has to just stay home and do nothing because she's a mom now and her
Yeah.
kids are at a certain age and she can do her later. You don't know how much time you have left, like, do you now?" And
Exactly.
it doesn't mean you're a bad mom. It means you're a more lit up mom and you're not resentful because you're feeling like there's more and you're not doing it. And that's going to be worse for your kids. So it was a reframe, but it totally, like, yeah, if you can't do it for you, do it for your kids. Show them.
Yeah. Show them that you can be a whole person. And
Yes.
it's not just and it's not just kids. It's like, if we're taking care of an aging parent or a spouse or whatever, or, putting things in the back burner for your partner. It's the same shit, right?
Yep.
Honor yourself is what I'm hearing you
Yes.
say. Honor
Or
yourself
you made me think
and
too,
yeah.
you don't have to be a mom, your inner child. Like, find a picture of yourself when you're younger, and, like, that little girl is you, and she's with you, and it's like, what would you want her to accept? Like, you're
Yeah.
living for her now. And it's like, that little girl, you want her to just grow up and have everything. Think about her if you're not a mother. Like, think about that inner child and what life it's like all this shit I went through with my eating disorders, it would be such a disservice to that teenage version of me to not see this all the way through and make a foundation and speak on it and make it mean something. So think about that person and like what you've been
Mhm.
through. You owe it to it's you, so your child, yourself, to see it all the way through and just like we're conditioned. It's like society conditions moms to be like, oh, like you to have shame about wanting something for themselves, and it worked on me
Women,
for a really long
period.
time.
Not just
Yeah,
moms.
true.
Women, period.
Good
Yeah.
point. So true. Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
I was getting it specifically that I was not being a good mom because I was
Well, sure. Yeah.
finding, and I was like, no, no, not doing that anymore.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
not
and
married anymore either. Well,
not not
technically,
gonna not
I
gonna not gonna do that.
not gonna do that anymore, and you're gonna have to go. Yeah. Didn't see that coming, but it's all evolving. You gotta get to exceptional. And yeah,
Yeah.
you wanna stay in excellent because it's comfortable, and my husband's here, and this is how maybe he's not supposed to be there, and I'm not an advocate for divorce whatsoever. Again, I'm dragging my feet on it because probably stupidly, I'm holding on to, like, he's gonna change, and there's no reason to, like, rush it. He's gone, like, he's been gone for 2.5 years, but something is not letting me finalize it. So
Yeah.
I get it, but it's like my new life is it's actually opened up more. Now I only have my kids 1 weekend a month, and he has 3. I have them always during the week, but 3
Right.
weekends a month, I have nothing. Like, I have
Woohoo!
more it's like that just gave me more opportunity to do things. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know, step into the guidance, and when something is
Yeah.
maybe it was aligned and you're just or just, like, and don't file for divorce, but, like, bring it up, like, work on it. Say you don't feel lit up, like, he may surprise you, like, or she may surprise you, whoever you're with, but don't settle. Like,
Mhm.
just totally don't settle for excellence. Step toward exceptional. And it might be scary and it might be a shaky ladder. But when you get struck by lightning, you're like, oh, I'm here. Okay.
Like, I
Yeah.
get it now,
I thought I was lit up, but lightning. Are you
but
struck by
now I'm
lightning?
really lit up. Yeah,
My
exactly.
sourdough bread friend was struck by lightning. It used to be just like she's a mom. It was like a hobby. And now I just see she's so lit up. And I'm like, she stepped into exceptional.
So did you
It
say she has a
exists.
community and stuff?
Yes, she has
Oh,
a whole,
that's
like, a
I what's her name? What's the
Instagram
name of
page,
her
Baked
do you
and
know?
Bloomed. Oh, she's getting a
Okay.
shout out.
You're right. Yeah. No, it just
But
sounds
it's like
familiar because I think I'm familiar with
but it
her
was
and stuff.
nothing before, and she just because she
She
was like, "I'm
leaned
a
into
mom,"
it.
and she's
Yeah.
an excellent mom, but it's like, what are you good at that you could teach? Maybe you knit. I feel like people are knitting now. Show people how to crochet. So if
Yeah.
you love doing it, your passion is gonna shine through. Make an Instagram page and see what happens. Like, see who starts to join. Do, like, little I don't know, teach people on Zoom. Have, like, in-person it doesn't have to be I always am like, go to the dark thing. It doesn't have to be a healing journey. What can
Right.
you teach someone to do? Find something that lights you up, and it doesn't have to be what you went to school for. I went to school for PR, and marketing. I kind of am doing but I worked for it's funny is when I met my husband, it was the Redskins. They're the Commanders now. I was in broadcasting. I was like a PA, and then I would do like produce like little segments. And now, I mean, it's kind of like what you said. Now I'm on a mic and I'm in a maybe it was a breadcrumb, but it's
Yeah.
like it doesn't have to be what you thought it would be. And open your eyes and put down your phone. Ask for guidance. It's right there, but you're looking at your phone and just step into like what you know it. It's like you're like, oh, you know what the thing is that you're like, maybe, but it's too scary. What would happen if you tried? Like if you step towards it, you'll never know. You'll just and you may have an excellent life, but you have a chance at an exceptional life, but you'll never know if you don't go for it
Yeah.
and attempt exceptional.
Yes, and I love what you said about, get out of your phone or whatever. I always tell people, like when I on other people's podcasts and stuff, they'll say, "Well, what do you want to leave the audience with?" And I said, "You know what? Here's the thing. Always be curious, right? Look at things with fresh eyes because we drive the same way to work or we walk the same route when we're walking our dog or whatever it is. But I bet that if you take 2 seconds to look at something with fresh eyes, you're gonna see 5 to 10 things that you've never seen before. And you maybe have been on that same path for a year, So you're right. You have to just take off the blinders. Whatever it is, put down your phone, take off the blinders and be like, look at it as if, and being in real estate, people are so used to the way their homes look, right? Because they've lived in it for 10, 20, 30 years. They can't see it the way somebody that's walking through the front door is seeing it for the first time. So that is kind of an experiment. I'm like, okay, pretend like this is not your house and walk in and tell me what you see. And then they're like, oh shit. Right?
Yeah. No, that's
Oh,
a
the
great
Beanie Baby collection's got to go. Uh, like, put the doilies away, please. Um, but when you look at things with fresh eyes, you're like, oh, it's like there's a whole other world out there. And I think, right now with things the way they are, so chaotic and so crazy, like every day there's a new fire, explosion, a new whatever. Look over here, look over here. A lot of people can't put their phones down. They need to be in touch with this stuff that is not making them feel good, and it's sucking the life out of them. And it's like, yeah, now is the time, like you said, put down your phone and be curious about what life you have and how beautiful it is and how you, like you said, can take it from excellence to exceptional. There you
100%.
go.
Yeah, you're not over.
No, you're not
You're
over.
not
The
over
world is
depending on your age or your
yeah,
kid. It doesn't you're not over. Like,
no.
you matter too. Do you know human design?
Yes, I
Do you know
love
your
human
hu
design. Did we talk about
Okay.
this?
No, I don't know if we did, but I'm a generator and I'm a sacral
I
generator.
love it.
And if you know your human design, it's like you can trust what you're feeling more. Like if you're feeling nervous about stepping into something, if you know your human design and how you make decisions, it's more like my sacral. I get hits, like I get these feelings in my body. And you made me think of it when you were like, go the other direction. When I was getting my reading, she was like, if it says go right to take your son to soccer practice and your body, something is telling you to go left, you go left. She's like, that's
Mhm.
how you may, if you're a sacral generator. Maybe you don't, maybe you are one of the other ones like projector or man-gen, well, whatever it is, it's like you make, maybe you have to run it by somebody else. And if you know that about yourself, then maybe if you run it by a life coach or somebody that you respect, you'll feel better and more confident about it, knowing that that's how you were made to make decisions. So it's not as scary. So it's like if I feel it in my body, like, or
Mhm.
the butterfly, like I saved a neighbor. Um, she was like, by reading, she goes, "You're a sacral generator. You get hits, and it's typically around people's safety." And I was like, "You have
Yeah.
got to be kidding me." She goes, You just feel like something's about to happen." And I was in my house, nowhere near the front door. And something told me to go to the front door. Like there's nothing happening. I go to the front door, and my elderly neighbor forgot to put her car in park and was
Jeez.
trying to stop the car by holding on to the
Oh,
steering wheel. So
no.
the car was dragging her across my lawn
Oh,
and
no.
not fast because there's nobody on the, but and I look out and I run out and I jump over her. I put the car in park and I'm like getting leaves off her and I pick her up. She was like, "You're my angel." And I was like, something told me to go to the front. I saved my friend's child, not drowning, long time, but she didn't see. Something made me look and we were talking and I just get up and jump in and get her daughter. And she was like, but I was like, something made me look, but they were like, you have it around people's safety, whatever you're feeling.
Yeah.
So if my
You're like a
gut tells me,
superhero.
it's just how I know to make decisions. Like if my
Yeah.
gut is telling me something, it almost made me feel like, okay, now I can trust my gut because that is my human design. And if nobody knows what we're talking about, it's like where the moon was when you were born. And it just tells you so much. I mean, you're
It's
like,
a little bit of everything. It's like
I love it. I geek out so
yeah.
much on my human design. What is yours?
Okay, so you're gonna laugh, but I went through life thinking like I was a generator because I was always like, "Do, do, do, get it done, right?" So I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And then when I put it was in, what's it, My Body something, My Body Graph or whatever, and I put in my birth date and everything like that. I'm like, "Yeah, see, I told you I was a generator." And I looked at it, it was like, "When did you have my birthday? That's a weird thing." It's supposed to put it in like month, day, year, or whatever it is. I put it in backwards. And
Okay.
come to find out, I'm not a generator at all. I'm a
What are you?
projector. I am a projector, believe it or not. But I lived my life thinking, and acting. I knew nothing about uh, human design,
Right.
but just go, 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 do, 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 just push, push, push. That's not how projectors work. We have to
Oh.
wait quietly to be invited to the conversation or to the thing, and then so I'm a splenic,
Ooh,
or
what does that mean?
projector, so I
What's
get pings
splenic?
in my spleen, so my spleen
Oh,
is your sacral, right? I'm splenic,
Whoa.
whatever, that will ping and it's like, yes, you may go this direction, and then, you might get another ping to send you in a different way, and don't disregard that. Don't feel like it's a
Yes.
bad thing, and that's kinda like me. I'm like, "Okay, okay, 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 okay.
Yes.
What might be right for you now may not be right for you in a week or 2 weeks or 6 months."
Yes.
So, I love that, and it was a little bit of a pressure release, like, "Okay, I don't have to push, 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 and when I do, things don't work." So,
Yes, and you know that about yourself now, so it
yeah.
helps you in making decisions. It gave me permission to, like, be who
Mhm.
I and it comes up energy comes up all the time. It's like, "You have a lot of energy," and sometimes my husband would be, like, almost, like, reactive to me, and my daughter does it too, but I'm like,
Yeah.
"I'm just." So I was like, "No, I am energy, and there are people on this planet that
Yes.
bring energy, and there are other people that
Those
know
are the
what to do with it,
generators.
and you need
Yeah.
all of us." Yeah, yeah, it's like when your heat goes out and your generator is gonna come in with the energy,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "That's just who I am." It gave me permission to be like, "Well, I'm a generator, that's how I was made," and, it's now I know when I get those gut feelings, and that's kinda was
You're the
around when I
doer.
filed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it cost me my marriage being this way, but I'm like, "This is who I am." I'm not gonna pretend to be when you lean in, I think that is the whole emphasis of this whole conversation, like, lean
Mhm.
into who exactly you are and trust, like, that if you feel this way and it's not don't think about shame or who's gonna judge it. It's like, be authentically you. Don't, sorry, project. I know you're a projector. Don't project what you think other people want. Just live, follow the signs, and you are here. Your soul is on this planet for one reason, and that's why you are here. And once you figure that out, again, you're gonna be so lit up. If you haven't yet, live exactly and authentically as you are and look at some dark things, look at what you love to do and put that energy out, and then you will match with that like energy. And it's like manifesting. Like you want to do all these things, but it's like, are you living in a way that you would attract these
Right.
opportunities? Like you have to match that energy. And if you're projecting something else to appease a spouse or a friend or anyone, you're not aligning with opportunities that are supposed to be for you because you're not living as your authentic self.
And, as you know, I work with horses as coaching partners, and they
Yes.
will call you out on that shit in a heartbeat because they can see the incongruency, right? They can see that what you're projecting or that wall that you put up, and they can mirror back to you what they're feeling. And that's the other thing, like all of those things that you said are so true, and they're also inside, right? It's in our bodies. It's in so it's like not just like what are we thinking, what are we saying, what are we doing? It's what are we feeling?
Oh my
And we
gosh.
have to go into our bodies to be able to feel these things. Because you can say, I'm mad, I'm sad, I'm this, I'm whatever. That's great. But what does that feel like? Like, what does
Yes.
joy feel like when you feel like you're in an exceptional thing? What lights you up? When you feel lit, what does lit feel like? I don't mean like lit,
Right.
you know what I mean? Lit.
Well, it
When you're
feels like
lit up, have another margarita. Uh,
no, Sue, I'm trying to stop.
all right.
We didn't really cover that.
No.
I haven't
Next
made it to
episode.
sobriety. Yeah, I haven't made it to sobriety, but I'm looking at it. And if you're in perimenopause or menopause, alcohol is like pouring gasoline on your symptoms. And I am
Mm.
symptomatic enough for everyone around me. I don't need alcohol during this time. I'm going to wake up at 3 in the morning anyway with a hot flash. Why would I put alcohol and make it even worse on myself? Alcohol served me in my 20s and 30s. It does not serve me
It
in my
didn't really
40s.
serve you in your 20s
Oh,
and 30s. Surprise!
well,
You thought it
it
did.
wasn't as that's a great yeah, true. It does not serve me at all in my 40s. It makes
Yeah.
things very hard. But I had like my biggest, I don't know if anybody else can relate to this, but my biggest struggle still is feeling like I'm missing out, like I'm restricted. I can't have somebody, my sister, like when we go to dinner, she'll always get like a nice bottle of wine and she's pouring a nice bottle of wine. I'm like, I don't get it. I'm restricted. I can't have it. And it takes me back to restriction and disordered eating. So for me,
Yeah.
it's like trying to reframe. You're not missing out, like you're gaining a great night's sleep and no anxiety the next morning. Not that I was hungover, but you're like, you did it again.
Anxiety. I love that.
You weren't gonna
Yeah.
drink and you did it again.
Mhm.
versus like I don't get to have it. Everybody else is having it. That's where I'm at right now. So
Mm.
it's rare if I drink. If it's a really nice bottle of wine or something, I don't just drink to have a drink. It's like, oh, they sell wine at this game or this play. So we go get wine. Like, I'm not going to just buy shitty wine. Like, and that's what I used to do. It was like, just because there's wine. Like, I'm very conscious of it now.
Yeah, that's
So,
interesting.
but
Yeah,
I
I
don't
quit
like to miss
drinking
out.
about, it'll be 4 years the end of this month, towards the end of this month.
Amazing.
And I did just stop, and it was like it was no longer serving me. Not that it ever served me
You're right.
previously, right?
You're right.
But it served me in a way that I felt that yeah, whatever. Anyway, and I just got to a point where I had done so much other work spiritually, emotionally, and everything that yeah, if the first couple weeks, it was like, but then I didn't even then did I have a problem, like, watching somebody drink a delicious IPA, which I love, a good
That's what
IPA, right?
what I drink. If
Yeah.
there is an IPA or a double IPA, I even like a strong beer, I'm having it. Like, but
Yeah,
it has to be an IPA. I'm not gonna just drink beer because there's not beer, because there's
right.
beer available. But
Yeah,
you didn't feel tempted? Like, not tempted, like they
I
get to have
didn't.
it and you can't? Oh,
No, I didn't,
I don't have
and
that.
here's the thing, and I think a lot of times when people quit drinking, it's such a social thing. They feel like, "Oh my god, I'm some sort of pariah," right? I'm like, "I'm the one not drinking." But,
Like, what's wrong? What
they
happened?
have
Why are you drinking? Are you
they ha
okay? What's wrong?
"Yeah, are you okay? What's
Yeah,
wrong? Did you have
good.
a problem?" I'm like, "Oh, well,
Yes.
yes." But they have I
Maybe.
mean, the non-alcoholic beers, are really
I
not
agree.
bad,
I
and they
agree
have
with you.
IPAs now, they have hazy IPAs, and I'm like, "So you can
They
go
do.
out, you can have a NA beer, and
That's what
nobody
I
is
do.
the wiser, like, if you feel like somebody's looking at you weird." But you're right. If you stop drinking, people are like, "What's wrong? What was wrong with you?"
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah. It
"Nothing."
can't it's, like,
It just
unheard of. I feel like it's
yeah.
trending differently. I don't know if that's just my
Yes,
algorithm, but
absolutely.
I'm
No.
seeing a lot of sobriety, like,
Yeah.
moving forward with into sobriety, and yeah, my refrigerator's full. Michelob Ultra Zero
Oh,
tastes
I'm kinda athletic
exactly.
brewing.
I like athletic.
Athletic
I like
brewing.
one of them I don't like.
Yeah.
There's an orange and a blue and a yellow. I don't like
The orange is the
I
hazy, the blue is the Run Wild, yeah, for
Yeah, I
IPAs,
like
yeah,
one of them, but
yeah.
the Michelob Ultra Zero, first of all, it's
Mhm,
30 calories. The
mhm.
IPAs were probably like 200. So if you think about
No,
that, how many
like
you were having?
60.
Oh,
Oh, the real
sorry,
ones, the real
regular.
IPAs,
I
yeah.
drink double IPAs. So
Oh,
if you
yeah,
think about that, but if
yeah.
somebody handed me this Michelob Ultra Zero, just like or I ordered a regular beer, it tastes exactly the same. Like, they have mastered it does not taste anything different from a beer. So if somebody is like questioning, it's like I like to have I like to pair. I like beer with certain like tacos or
Right. Yeah,
pizza.
yeah, pizza,
So
sure.
I want the taste of a beer.
Mhm.
Like, I've found that. Wine, they have not recreated a
No, yeah.
wine that does not taste. There's nothing that's gonna be close to that. So it's
Now
very rare if I'll
gin,
have a
the
oh,
NA
I've seen
gins,
that.
because it's
Ritual?
so botanical, there's some decent ones there
Mm,
that, with tonic that you can fool yourself into believing you're drinking a gin and tonic a
there
little
you
bit,
go.
right?
Okay.
So there's all those. So, just a word for sponsorship out there. If any of you NA
Athletic.
producers are listening, bring
We
it.
got
Happy to
2 shows
sponsor.
here.
Yeah,
We will take 2 sponsorships.
bring it.
There's plenty for everyone. Yes. You're
Oh my
welcome for
god.
all of your shout outs.
Erin, it's been so fun talking to you today, and I just love your energy. Thank you for bringing your energy. As a projector, I need your energy, and I appreciate
Yeah.
all of your
Thank you for
energy.
projecting it back to me. I need that. So I appreciate it.
So as we're wrapping things up here, how can people get in touch with you? I know what's the best way that people can get in touch with you, find out more about you, find out more about your foundation and all of that good stuff?
I mainly hang out on Instagram and I have an account for all the things. I am Erin Washington is just a lot of lip sync, TikTok kind of things, like fun. And then we have ThERInpy with Erin Washington. It's an Instagram account, and then ThERInpy with Erin Washington wherever you get your podcasts. It's me doing live therapy. You can see on the Instagram page all the topics. So it's like if you want sobriety, perimenopause, whatever you want me to ask my questions on, I have it. And then my other Instagram is The Blue Butterflies. And that is the nonprofit where we will go to middle schools, high schools, or just like in a neighborhood. If there's like I live in Peachtree City, Georgia. So Peachtree City moms will put on an event. I can come and talk to the girls. I talk about eating disorders and body image, but we have women that talk about being in toxic relationships or abuse or any sexual identity, anything that a teenager is struggling with.
Mm,
We have
so
a
much.
woman who has been through that thing because I wouldn't go to therapy, talk to a man about my body image stuff because I'd be like, whatever. I wouldn't talk to my mom. And it's a girl that I mentor now. It's like she had a rough weekend last weekend and her mom was like, she wants to talk to you. And I'm like, of course she does because I have been through a lot of the same things. She trusts me because I've shared my story. You don't want to talk to your mom about everything. So maybe
Yeah.
they're holding on to something that maybe, I don't want to say dangerous, but something that they need to work through, but they aren't willing to talk to their mom. We will come to any city. We put on events there one day. We have lunch. We share. They can ask us all their questions. And that's at the Blue Butterflies.
I love it. I think that that is so helpful because that's a gnarly time in our lives, and girls
Yes.
and especially now with, social media
Social
and stuff,
media.
it is just ramped up the volume on all of that bullshit that young girls have to go through.
Yes.
So thank you so much for doing that. I really
Hmm.
appreciate you, and I know that there's a lot of young women out there that need that support and need a container, a space where they can feel safe to address all these things that they're going through. Erin, thank you so much for being on the show today. I really appreciate you. And to anyone out there, if this episode, we covered a lot of stuff. So there's got to be something in there that resonated with you. Share it with a friend and listen to Erin's podcast. She's got a lot of amazing guests on. I'm honored that I was on the podcast with Katie Couric. I wasn't with her at the time, but on the same podcast. So there's that. Uh,
You are.
but thank you, thank you so much for being here today, and thank you out there, everyone who has been listening. And follow Erin, check her out. She's got a lot. She's doing a lot of good for young women and for the world. So, Erin, thank you again. And this has been another amazing episode of Midlife Strategies for Badass Women.